And we're back with some more Timberborn. And before I unpause this and we go into drought season, I thought I would go through a few suggestions from the comments. One suggestion was that I am using this as a toxic badwater overflow, as in when the toxic badwater comes, we shunt all the water out here. And the problem I had was I kept thinking of it that way. I only use it in the off-season to store water because, well, we already had it built and it seemed like a decent idea. But everyone was pointing out, why are you trying to store more water down here to go through the bad water season when I could just shunt the bad water away? As in, make another dam further back beyond this to shunt the bad water somewhere else so that we can use this all year round as a water storage, which makes an awful lot of sense. And the only, like, my brain just kept thinking of this as the bad water shunt, and I never thought of it as I can use that to store water and make a bad water shunt elsewhere. But then I started looking around for places to go, hey, let's get this bad water and throw it off the side of the map so that we don't have to worry about it and we can keep all our clean water in here. Problem is, you can't just do it up here. Like, if we say we're to put in a shunt here, it's just going to flow over the sides and then still end up going down the track. So what happens is this water comes out, circles all the way around and around. Wait, and here. And you'll notice we already have an access point to this section. It literally flows past our base before continuing all the way around to eventually get to our dam back there. So I started looking for places to put in a dam so that we could force it over the edge. Like, if we put in a dam through here, we could force it over this edge and off the map. Unfortunately, that leads to problems because that will actually back up the water so far it'll overflow further back up. Actually, let me demonstrate. That is the minimum required, and we have to put it up to there. That'll force the water off the side. Now, that will, of course, force the water behind it up, well, 1, 2, 3 levels minimum. So this will go up, let's put this up 3 tiles. So 1, 2, and actually, wait, that should be fine. Yeah, well, okay, it's technically going to go up a little bit higher than that. So we'd have to make this 3 tiles high. Now, that means the water still won't overflow. There's this nice little solid blocks here. But then every time we go back up a bunch, we have to find the next... here. Now, when it gets to this point, it's going to go up 2 tiles high as opposed to 3 because we've gone up another chunk. So this is going to go up 1 and 2. And if we follow that back up, well, that leads to a problem right here because that means the bad water is going to overflow this section and flow off the edge and down into our base, which is bad. So we'd have to block off here as well. And it gets worse. That means we'd have to come back here and, oh, look, it would overflow in here and go into our dam. So we'd have to block off here and block off here, and it just never ends. There's so much mess when you start doing it that way. Don't you start damming stuff, you have to start damming everywhere. Also, big thanks to the comments for this one. It turns out you can just hold down shift and do this and get rid of these. It makes it really nice for planning stuff out. I spend too much time planning things in the background. Alright, so building a badwater dam shunt is not as easy as it looks. I think our best bet is dynamite. Get some explosives, and what we should do is cut through an area right here. It's also been pointed out to me that when it comes to this water source, there's this waterfall mechanic. Where is it? Over here. Now, due to the way water mechanics work in this game, there's a bit of an odd situation. If you have, say, a section like this where you have waterfalls that go over the top, those waterfalls have a flow limit. So if we were to reduce this to only 3 waterfalls, the incoming section back here would cause an overflow because it wouldn't be able to escape over those 3 edges, so it would eventually flood over the tops of these edges as well. We need exactly 4 waterfalls for the amount of water coming out of this hole. It's just the way the game works. Actually, technically we need slightly over 4, but evaporation actually counteracts a small bit of it. There was a whole comment that gave me some context for all of this. The reason this works is because, well, it's deeper and it allows more water to flow out, so this actually kind of works. But that's because we have multiple tiles of height that it can get up to. Alright. But with all of that out of the way, we need to basically tap into a badwater source and make dynamite. Under here you can see explosives factory. Requires that radioactive symbol. That's just bad water. You take 5 bad water, it turns out 1 dynamite. That's it. Now, to get the bad water, there's a couple of methods, but the main one is badwater pump. This one, you basically chuck it down, but it only goes down to a maximum of depth 2. So we'd have to place it somewhere over here and start draining water. Well, this is the closest badwater source. And then we can use that to start making explosives. Another option is the badwater... Where is it? Badwater rig. There's a badwater dome and a badwater rig. The badwater rig is exclusive to this faction. It's basically a building you cram over one of these bad water sources, and then it allows you to actually produce bad water, which is kind of cool. And the bad water don't just seals off the bad water so it doesn't bother you anymore, but the bad water rig just allows you to really consistently and easily access that toxic water. One other thing that was mentioned is, why don't we use water wheels? There is like a whole area through here to build water wheels on. Um, wait, I'm getting distracted. Let's just go over the plan. Go over here, get bad water, make dynamite. Use that dynamite to blast a hole through here so that we can put in a dam over that section. And then I want to turn this place into a green valley the whole year round. In fact, yeah, we should be able to turn this whole valley green and then use that all year round to develop lots and lots of crops and expand our population for some mass industrialization. First off, though, we need to get over here. We need to make a path for the beavers, and we need to be able to tap into this bad water source. But before that, we have 4 vacancies. That means we need more beavers, which means we probably need to go up another level to make more housing, which means this stairs needs to go up a chunk. I think for our housing, I'm going to go to triple lodge. I mean, we can get double lodges and triples. Let's just see what they are. Okay, that's a much bigger lodge. Is it worth it? Okay, I'm checking out the numbers here, and these things seem very underwhelming. Alright, so each one of these lodges can hold 3 beavers. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 beavers. And each one of these is half the height of one of these triple lodges. So that means if we double this up, we get 36 beavers could fit in the same amount of space as these 4 triple lodges. And those triple lodges hold 36 beavers, so they all hold the same amount of beavers. But I suppose they take less logs? It's like a better logs thing? You know what, let's just try this one. I mean, I'm just curious now at this point. Maybe I'm missing something. Okay, that holds 6, but takes up twice the space. Okay, so you're still taking up the same space no matter what. It's just more log efficient? Okay, I think I'm getting the hang of what they're trying to do here. Alright, so this is a normal, just the old houses, right? And every level you go up, you have to put in some kind of walkway. So you'd put walkways along here so they can all get in and out of their houses. The problem comes along when you try and put stairs into it. So what happens is you put in one stairs, it goes up one level, but now you've got to get another stairs up to the next level. And you can't mount stairs on these rows, because if you mount stairs on these rows, it blocks off half the layer and no one else can access it. You have to kind of come out a bit. What you can do is this, and put out a stair section. But then you have to, 1 second, come up a layer, then go around, go back in. But then you can't do another stair section like that. Problem is you can't put a platform over this section. If you put a double platform, you can't just do what you normally did. So you end up having to go out sort of 3 layers. Wait, let me demonstrate this better. So assuming this is your baseline start, the easiest way to get up and down is going to require you to have 3 tiles. So what you sort of end up doing is this. Second, that leads to the center, and boom. So everyone hops up the stairs, goes around the corner and in here. And then when they want to go up to the next level, all you do is, second, you get another set of stairs on the right, and boom, then they can go up to the next level and go into the middle. Then, 1 second, then you put down a few of these, and then you go back to the left and you put down another stairs. And this means with about a 3x2 tile grid, you can actually figure out a way to, well, infinitely go up as far as you want, while still making sure you can stair the whole thing as high as you want to go. Easy peasy, not so bad, but it does take a 3x2 tile grid. But then I was playing around with these ones over here, the bigger houses. Well, those ones you only need to go to every second level. The reason you only need to go to every second level is because, well, that's how the doors are positioned on these houses. For some reason they crawl in the top and then sleep in the bottom. I presume they've got ladders in there. They've developed the mystical art of ladders in that section. I think this is going to confuse people because this is a block game. Every single block here, this is basically Minecraft blocks. So they can't really put in ladders because the ladder would still take up an entire block. Madness. But this, when you come along to this section, you're actually able to... 1 second. What you can do is something similar to the last one, but just more compact. So what you can do is give me a stairs here. Now remember, we don't have to go up 1 level, we have to go up 2. This actually simplifies things. Give me that, and give me that. Which means this guy can go boom. And there we go. We've actually gone up 2 levels. And we've actually managed to compress the whole stair system down into a 2x2 box format. Then you can just, well, repeat the process. Stairs, stairs, and then you're up another level. So I think that's what they were trying to do, is just make it so you can compactify your stairs down. And, oh, let me guess, storage. I unlock large storage. How much is that? 250? Yeah, just keep spending the science. Why not? If I unlock large storage, I'm betting... Oh, you muppets. Alright, so that's a once every 2 layers as well. But at least those 2 layers are... That means you'd have to put it on top of something first to make it... You know what? It doesn't make a difference. None of this matters because I'm getting distracted again, aren't I? Get rid of these. We're just going to do this very simply. We're going to extend these stairs on and put in 3 more houses. And then we're immediately going to tap into this bad water. This bad water is going to evaporate. So we need to get as much of that out so we can get as much dynamite as quickly as we can. So we're just going to stick with your basic housing because we're lazy. Give us 3 of those. Perfect. And then we'll just stick in some paths. Done and done. That way all the beavers will have some extra houses to sleep in, and we don't have to stress about that too much. Then we want to make a walkway across here and put in some scaffolding. This should be fairly straightforward. We'll just extend on this path. Done. And we need to put in a bad water extraction. Bad water pump. Yeah, we got all of the equipment for this brand. Cool. You can't go there because we don't have platforms for it. And bad water pump finished. Okay, where's the entrance? Put it that side might be a better idea. See? We put that there. Put in the stairs. Road. Easy. Easy. That means the beaver can get to the bad water pump. They can start pumping, and we're going to need a storage for it. So, liquid storage required. Medium tank, 300 capacity. Yes, please. Okay, I think that's enough queued up building. Gonna have to let the beavers catch up with all of that. One other thing that came up in the comments, a little bit, like a fair little bit, was water wheels. We're playing a game involving beavers and dams and water, so why am I not using the literal water wheels that should be, you know, chucked down in here? Droughts. This drought has 15 days to go, and while there's a drought on, there's no flowing water. The water wheels only work in flowing water. If we stick them in this water here, it'll do nothing because this water is non-flowing. It's just stagnant, which means we'd have to survive 15 days with 0 power income, which is... I went with windmills. Windmills turn on and off intermittently, but they don't go out for multiple days at a time. They only seem to go out for like a half a day or something, and the batteries can easily can take care of that. We're actually really well sorted on this one. In fact, I would far, far, far prefer windmills over water. And there was one other tech everyone was mentioning. Why don't I just tap into the bad water, make that go on forever, and use the forever bad water to power a whole bunch of water fields forever? Unfortunately, we don't have access to that tech. And we will take bad water for you, please. You see there's this tech that the Iron Teeth get. The Iron Teeth are these guys. You haven't unlocked them yet, but if you play as the Iron Teeth faction, they have a faction unique technology. Whereas these guys get the bad water rig, which allows them to safely extract bad water. They get the bad water bundle siphon, something like that. It basically allows the bad water, it turns on the bad water forever, and then they can use that bad water to effectively just power a butt ton of stuff. Very nice tech on their part. But yeah, we don't have access to that, unfortunately. Alright, are you guys almost finished with that? What I also want to do is stick in some hospitals. I have been very lax on that front because, well, it didn't seem like a big deal. So over here we have medical beds. So not so much hospitals as a literal medical bed. It's basically a medic cot. That's all it really is. And yeah, they can build that in a bit. Once they get that up and running and the bad water started, I think we shall be immediately plugging in... explosives factory. For some reason, I thought explosives required paper. Turns out paper is not required whatsoever. So you, unlock. How much space do you need? Okay, you're a long one. I'm going to have to put you there as well. Ugh. We'll wait till we have all of the stockpiled resources because this is going to disconnect the smelter while we're doing this. Here we go. Badwater up to... Ooh, some haulers there. Those actually pumped at it pretty quick. Guys, do you want to start storing that Badwater? Alright, over here. We've got... Yeah, I think we're maxed out on metal blocks. We're not going to be getting any more anytime soon. Alright, Badwater is coming in. That means you need to go. We'll disconnect you. We shall slot in the explosives factory. Nice. Now, we have the options to build dynamite for destroying terrain. Double dynamite, which requires some sort of weird chemical junk. What's it called? Extract. Extract. Oh, here it is. Centrifuge. It takes 4 Badwater and turns it into 1 extract. Okay. Dynamite takes 5 Badwater and turns it into 1 dynamite. So the extract basically gives us more explosive depth. And it's actually slightly cheaper. So you're getting 2 depth, so you're actually using less Badwater in total to blast out 2 tiles. Okay, and this goes to explosion depth 3. And this is tunnels. Tunnels looks interesting. Tunnels through terrain, replacing with a platform. Use the layer tool to see under terrain or structures. You can blast a tunnel to a mountain? That would actually be really cool. No. We're focused. We're focused. We're organized. We're getting this done. We're making explosives, and we're going to blast out a hole over here. Or was it over here? No, it's over here. Over here. We're going to blast out a hole over there. And actually, that's the rear end of our dam, is it? Yeah. And we're also going to fix it so that we can store more water in this dam as well. And then we're going to automate its flow so that it automatically tops these areas back up, keeping us in water all year round. How are you looking? Now, here we go. You. Your job is to produce explosives. And we need to find somewhere to store that. Actually, we're going to need to expand storage in general. Well, this isn't good. We're already starting to run out of Badwater here. I didn't realize how little water was actually in this section. Well then. It's time we improved our Badwater collection rates for next round. Is there any other Badwater sources we could tap into? Oh, miles away. You know what? It's fine. Fine. We can make ourselves a little storage area here and collect a bunch of Badwater. Just need to maybe put in a few stairs here and there. So, simple plan. We walk through here, we go across this section, and we start damming this up with your basic dam blocks. We only need to get ourselves just a little bit of storage. Then, when we walk across here, we'll probably dam across this section as well. Seems like a very reasonable plan. Huh. But we might as well double down and do both sides at the same time. I was just looking at where we could dam across here, and it's just... theoretically we could do something like this, and then we'd have to double layer, and then we'd have to go over here somewhere, and then sort of maybe diagonally, we'd have to do something like this, maybe. Whatever. That seems very problematic and very resource intensive. So instead, what if we just went down further with where it's a bit narrower? Then what we can do is just across here, maybe? That seems like a very easy place to do that. And then pour those there, brick it up, and we're done. This entire area will be flooded with Badwater back to here, giving us plenty of places to get our water from, or Badwater from during the off-season. This should store enough for us to make lots of explosives, is the theory. How do we get over there, though? Yes, that looks like a sufficiently long path. We should probably add a few more builders in. How many builders have we got? We have... Maybe take one person off hauling, put another person into building. And as more beavers come online, we'll add them in. But this should basically take care of storing Badwater for the foreseeable future to provide our explosives industry with enough oomph. How much water's left in there? 50 Badwater? And it's like, what, 10 dynamite? We need a lot more explosives. Like, a lot. We have put an explosive storage over here. And where is it listed? 5, 6. I think we're going to need about, I want to say 27 explosives to do what we want. So I don't think we're going to get enough on this first batch. Our beavers are being kept busy. And we're using the haulers to try and stockpile. Ooh, actually caught up on, we can add a few more haulers, I think. In fact, give me Several more haulers. You can see here we've got free beavers who are unemployed. Immediately time to chuck those into the hauling section. They can start bringing the logs over here. And those logs immediately get soaked up by the builders. And they're also going to have to go all the way down to here. So this is not over by a long shot, but we have 7 days to finish it. I think we'll have plenty of bad water. We're also going to have to demolish this, but for now I want to leave that up there, just in case. Actually, might be an idea to delete that now. Yes, we may have to replace it, but you know what? I would rather have it set up for later. Let's see, that's 2 tiles deep there, so where are we going to put this? I think that looks perfect. We'll stick that there. It's only good for 2 tiles. Maximum depth of this one is 2 tiles. The maximum depth of your regular water pump is 4. Which reminds me we should actually upgrade to a large water pump at some point. Which requires resin. You know, we'll worry about it later. For now, we're just going to let the beavers do their thing. And I might want to move some wood stockpiles down there. Yeah, a couple of those down here. Actually, one big one in here might help out. This is working out quite nicely. The haulers drop off all the logs, and then the builders use them. We're still not quite done. We got 4.7 days left. I'm not sure we'll get this finished in time, but I think we'll be close enough it won't even matter. We should be able to finish this before the end of the next tide, or the next drought tide, whatever it is, which means we should be able to store more than enough bad water to start on some serious demolition works. Oh, we are so close to being finished. We just have 3 more tiles to go. And I think we have enough wood here. Yeah, we got enough wood. We can just put that back to standard. And they should be able to finish this off. And then we can, well, get rid of this wooden stockpile. We've also brought ourselves closer to all these ruins. So more scrap for the iron pile. Excellent. Drought ended. Cycle 12 begins. Oh, and let's check. This did dry out at the very end. Oh. Probably should have been more careful with the potatoes, but once the water gets down here, in fact, we might want to let some water through. Ooh, look at that. We now have a massive stockpile of dark water. I've also removed all the roads down there, so hopefully... I don't know if the beavers get sick crossing over these scaly tiles. I think it's just if they get exposed to the water itself. If they pass through the water, they can get sick. I'm going to leave them away from that. Get rid of that stockpile. We don't need you stockpiling any... There we go. Water is finally flowing into this section. But that means the potatoes can get replanted. How are you looking? I think we'll just return you to your usual height. And we just have to wait for that water to catch back up. Okay. So, we finally have explosives coming down the line. These guys are removing all the logs from there. Now we need to get over to this section and start prepping for when the next Badwater tide comes through. We can blast this open. Then we save ourselves from ever having to deal with this dam not being accessible no matter how long things go on for. And why are those trees grey? Guys in... Why are you going to die? Flooded? Oh. No. 1.85. Why are they flooded? Shouldn't the water evaporate? Okay, water's evaporated. Fine. Yeah, I need to be more careful about that. Nope. We'll solve that problem later. Explosives first. Trees later. Oh, bugger. Water tank's almost empty. That means these 2 water pumps literally can't pull out the water fast enough to keep our beavers hydrated. They're drinking so much. I suppose we did expand the population quite a bit. Okay. We need to get down some water pumps right now, or our beavers are going to start, dehydrating and then dying. So I think we'll upgrade to a large water pump. Oh, no, we can't. We need treated planks for this one. No. Okay, so treated planks require wood workshop. Wood workshop can go in there. Okay, so we build a wood workshop in there. That leaves the rest of this area free. In the meantime, we're going to need to get in some emergency water supplies. You can go there, and you can go there. As I said, these are just emergency. We'll chuck these in real quick. That should hopefully allow us to replenish our water supplies. And then while the water supplies are replenishing, we will then replace these pumps with a better pump. Yeah, drought's approaching. I get it. Alright, everyone start building those up. And you guys, yeah, your storages, you'll be grand. Hey, get me some more water pumps and get people in those water pumps. We need far more water coming in. We're down to like 100 water right now. Okay, those 2 are up and running. That means we can now get working on treated planks. We need the treated planks to build the improved water pump. And the reason we want the improved water pump is it generates 5 water as opposed to 1 in the same time frame. Meaning we get, 5 times the productivity at the same building. All right, you guys. We're going to have to stop explosives and metal for a while, but that's okay. I'll unlock this. I love that our research is just so incredibly high right now. It makes no difference what's going on. Now, you go there. You are going to require 20 logs, 40 planks, and 40 gears. Yep, we got all of those. This should be done in no time at all. Done. Perfect. Oh yeah, they'll start giving us the resin planks. How many of them do we need to produce this water pump? We need 10 resin planks. You can store that many in there. Basically, it combines pine resin and planks to make treated planks, which I presume are just tougher, fancier planks. You get the pine resin from these trees over here, and we have 200 of it in storage. And then there's this tapper shack, which actually harvested. I think we did that last episode. All right. Once this has produced 10 treated planks, and we have 3 unemployed people. You know what? That's fine. Those beavers get to relax a little bit more. We are now up to 9 treated planks, which means you guys gotta go. Actually, wait, no. How big is this pump? We should probably check that first. Yes. Oh, okay, you're a big one. Yeah, we're gonna have to make some changes here. No, we can make this work. I figure what we do is we delete you. We delete you. We're gonna have to move the water tanks a little bit. You guys empty those water tanks. Why are you filling those? These guys are priority. Prioritize building by haulers. Prioritize by haulers. I would like you to move that water out of the way really quickly because I'm about to demolish all of those. Okay, you can go. And you can go. And that should then squeeze in the large water pump. Oh, yep, we got to get rid of those roads. All right. So we moved a bunch of stuff around. We can now fit in giant water pump. Perfect. Now build that really quickly if you wouldn't mind because we want to start topping up our water supply before the drought kicks in. That's where the water stops flowing, and I'd like to have as much of our water tanks filled as possible before that happens. Also, might be an idea to invest in the super large water storage tanks. One's up here. You know what? We got so much research. I'm just going to buy this. That one requires steel. 30 steel. Yeah, we got that as well. How big is this tank? Oh, giant. Okay, you know what? I say we fit that one. Yeah, right here. We can do that. Oh, there goes the drought. Now, we do have a grace period before that water stops flowing. So it's already stopped up here, but by the time all of the flow that's currently up here has decayed, we should be able to have extracted a whole bunch of water. Like this thing. Yeah, this thing's monstrous. And since this guy, the observatory is on lower priority, meaning if we're a little bit short of workers, they'll prioritize the first 4 will pop out of the science observatory to prioritize everything else. Which means we should be able to fill most of the water tanks before the end of water flow. Okay, checking back at the source, we have actually run out of time. The water flow has now stopped. So there's no point ripping more water out of this tank. I suppose it would stop it evaporating, but we're just going to result in these crops decaying a little bit faster. We'll finish the water tank, but I'm not filling it. There's no point filling the water tank. We're putting in a giant one right here. Because I want to see exactly how much water we're going to need in between droughts. All right, but drought started, so what we want to do is we want to put in our Badwater shunt over here. We want to have that installed before this drought ends. The first thing we have to do before we start blasting is figure out a path from here all the way over to here. That shouldn't be too hard, just a few stairs up and down. So this is very straightforward. Path goes up to here. We stick in a wooden stairs gets built, and it just zigzags all the way over to here. And then over here we can start blasting. So, probably going to pour down in that direction. That could be... You know what? We'll worry about that later. If it pours in here and causes a bit of a backfill, we'll have to do something about that, but that can be fixed. We just want to make sure we're ready for the next bad water, because it could be after this drought, or after the next... whatever. You know what? It's grand. We'll get over here, we'll blow this stuff up, and it should be fine. Where are all my planks going? Why are they disappearing? Do I have a bunch of stuff queued up to be built that I don't remember? Because our planks seem to be vanishing constantly. Gears. So the gears are eating them? Right. Giant large water tank. I forgot about that one. And we can't even fill that until... You know what? We'll downgrade their priority on that so they concentrate on other stuff. we're not going to try and fill that now, namely because it would probably drain all of the water in here and starve all our potatoes. So, oof. Kind of drained an awful lot of water out of there already just to fill those water tanks. Okay, this is so dumb. But it was the only natural way to get them there, okay? It's fine. It's fine. It's working out. The beavers are only mildly starving and thirsty when they get there. Right, it's time to start blasting. We might need to have lower access as well, so we'll start building you there. Then we're gonna want dynamite. Dynamite. Perfect. Now, we need 4 tiles wide. Perfect. So, we'll get the beavers to place that down, and then we'll figure out how to detonate this stuff. Okay. I believe our dynamite is freshly installed. You detonate. Well, let's hit play and... Perfect. Perfect. I like that. Right, well, I think we're blasting all the way down to the ground, so let's just keep going, shall we? To get down to this section. What I want to do is get down to the very ground floor, so I think more stairs are in order. How much time we got left? 8.7 days, plenty of time. Now, I know we don't have, we've got 8 days before the water starts, so we do need to clean this up quickly. But I am going to get started on this dam over here where we're putting in some sluices. These sluices are going to be set to close above downstream depth. No. Close above downstream depth. It's fine. Close above contamination 1%. If there's 1% contamination, close. Otherwise, stay open. Yeah. Synchronize with adjacent sluices. I think that seems very reasonable. All right, beavers, get on with this. We need to do some more blasting. I've come to the conclusion that maybe I shouldn't blast through this entire wall just yet. And instead, I should leave myself a little bit of space to mess up. But we shall be blasting out here, but we'll be leaving that wall on the other side just for now. We'll clear that once we've got in our sluice gates here. It's nighttime now, so I think we can detonate this in safety once he goes away. Perfect. This is the start of the channel. We'll have to blast out these last pieces, but I'd like to have this at least started. So you, sluice gates. These ones we can automatically set. So we want you to be close above stream. No. Close above contamination, close below contamination. Okay, I think I've got this. Close below contamination 1%. So if the contamination goes below 1%, as in 0%, you should close. At which point these ones here will be above 1% and they'll open, or sorry, yeah, okay, so there'll be no contamination detected. These guys will open, these guys will close, or vice versa, depending on what way it's going. So in theory, all the bad water will go this direction. And then what we'll do is we'll cover that up, and we'll cover it up again, and we'll stick a path on top of it, because why not? And done. Then we just got to cover up this section as well. Easy peasy. You should go like that. And like that. Yeah. And we'll put a path on top of you too. Oh, wait a minute. I should probably put some sort of gates on top of this to stop it from overflowing. Let me double check something here. Yeah, what we're going to do here is put dams on top. Oh yeah, these things mean if the water level goes above 75% of a tile, the water will overflow. Otherwise, what we could end up with happening is the water backs up the whole way, and if it does, it'll overflow at this section, which would be bad if it's bad water. We don't want that to happen. If it worst case scenario, it should just overflow. We'll also... maybe we should put overflows on this as well. Actually, that might be a better idea. Don't have overflows on this, have overflows on this. If a little bit of water overflows that direction, that's fine, but if a little bit of bad water overflows the top of this, that would be, well, bad. The drought is about to end, and if we could just get those last two up, I'd be happier. Just I'm worried that we're going to put a blob of clean water in there, which will mess up our bad water harvesting. How is our bad water harvesting doing? Yeah, we got plenty of it. We have been churning out the dynamite as necessary. But we've turned off the treated planks, we don't need them. The explosives are doing fine. We've got 83 explosives still, or dynamite ready to go. So blasting should go ahead. You beavers want to finish that off? Oh, come on, just a little bit more. Just that one there. If you could get an extra 3 logs on there before the water shows up, I would be most happy. Oh, and that's where all the water's coming from. You can actually see all the... Where is it? Oh, you're very slowly expanding. Cool. Well, we've got a bit of time then. Someone? Excellent. Okay. I think we can finish this off long before this drought ends. Oh. Back here, I've managed to keep this up by slowly letting water out of this section. But I think we're good for a while. We'll drop you down to 2.9. Here, I'll increase you. That way it'll fill this back up again and we'll still have plenty of water for the next round. Here comes the water. No, no, don't go over. How are you doing? Boyos look fine. You're doing grand? Close above downstream depth. No. Close above contamination level. That's what I want. They only close when the contamination level goes above a certain amount, so they're just letting all the water clean through. That is exactly what we wanted. Perfect. And this is not opening at all. This should only open if the contamination level goes up, and once we get up to 3 tiles high, I will be much happier. In fact, theoretically it should work at this level, but I just want to be safe. And then we can start blasting out this chunk, the chunks on this side. Our next drought is 24 days. Ow! Okay, I think it's time we started enlarging our water tank. Explosives? Yeah, I'm thinking explosives. We're going to use some explosive to blast ourselves a few extra tiles of storage space. Just going to finish off our dark water bad tide shunt over here. Yeah, we're almost done on this section. I don't think we need all of this extra dam here, but it just looks nicer and more consistent. All right, let's finish this off. 2 more dynamite to go. Once they're in place, we can basically start detonating all this stuff. And what the... No, we don't need any more logs out here. This place is done. You can remove the logs. Thank you. And once those last 2 dynamites go in, we can detonate the lot, and that's a clear path down here into the dark water pond. Okay, that should be it. Detonate the lot. Finished. Clear trench dug. Automated dark water disposal, which means everything from here on to there is clean water storage. And we can actually up this more. So first, you have to make some renovations. Some serious renovations. See, the thing is, we want to automate water going from here to here all the way down, so that this pond always stays full. In fact, this whole place should always stay full all year round. We might need a bit more water, but we're also going to need to install some more sluices. What we can do is we can put in these sluices here and automate them to start automatically releasing water into the next section whenever it dips below a certain level. We'll have to start storing water here as well, but this should be very, very doable. Let's start over here and then work our way down. That is 4 sluices. We had to redo all of the pathing and all that. But we should be able to store enough water in there, and then this should basically sluice... Oh, actually, wait. I'm doing this wrong. Close above downstream depth of 1.5? Oh. Oh, we can actually test the depth below us. If we say 1.5, it's up there, but we don't want that. We want downstream depth to be, say, about 1.7? Actually, we're going to say we want the downstream depth to be 0.8. 0.8 will mean it'll keep it higher than a normal one of these dam things. We're going to have to put some modifications here as well, but once we put some modifications here, this will all make sense. It's going to take a while to get this ready. It might take a drought or 2. Okay, let's maybe give this a little sort of test. Now, right now, this is set to if the downstream is below 80, let water through. So we're going to start slowly lowering the height here until we start seeing some water come through. Oh, yeah, there was a lot of evaporation. All of that is evaporation. That's why... there we go. There. All right, that should get us a little stream of water, but it should immediately just start pouring out on the right. My God, that's slow. You know what? Give us some more water. I'm impatient. Hey, there we go. That immediately starts pouring out here. Now, at some point, it should stop, assuming the water keeps going fast enough. It's going. This stuff is taking its time. Fine. Okay, we'll drop you another 2 layers. Oop, that's too much. Nope, there we go. And we'll keep dipping that down until to flow the water down here. You can see here, instead of drying out that end, we don't want that. And while the lack of a drought was on, I forgot to fill the large water tank because I'm an idiot. We'll fill it later. All right, how are you looking? You haven't stopped. Okay, we'll just keep dropping it until it does. Down here, we are going the other side of this so we can get behind this dam. We're going to do a retrofit on this dam to make it more suitable for our needs. And you can drop to, yeah, 220. Keep going. You're going to keep dropping it until that shuts. You're going to do it at 0.8. Downstream depth is 0.56. Okay, so it's not even close. 0.59, 0.6. That's actually nice to know. In that case, you need to go down another notch. Aha! We're finally getting to the point where the downstream water is hitting equilibrium. And these gates are kind of flipping on and off. You can see here the water starting to stockpile here for the first time. Open, closed, open, closed, open, closed. It's just flicking back and forth because of the evaporation. Now, down here, we want to drop you down a little peg as well. We want to keep this place topped up with water. We don't want it drying out. In fact, give us a little bit more water in there. We're going to need a lot. After much messing about, we've ended up with this. We've basically doubled the dam. There's a reason for this stupidity. What we're going to do is delete this. And delete this. And now what we can do is we can replace the bottom of the dam with sluice gates. So what this is going to allow us to do is to control the flow of water without having to come back here, like automatically, without having to come back here manually all the time, which will save us a bunch of effort. As well as that, we can put down a layer of regular blocks on top of here. And to make some people happy, we're going to put in this new tile of higher up, these higher up sluice gates, so that they match these gates over here, and now both of them are completely aligned. That was bugging some people, it seems. This way it kind of works out. We shouldn't really need them anyway, but we'll do it just because it looks better for some people's mental well-being. Okay, there we go. This is draining way too much. This will close if the downstream depth is above 0.7. This is going to be set to 0.7, and then we're going to do something similar here. And then it won't be able to get past that point. And this should keep every single layer of this at 0.7 auto-magically without having us to interfere. We're also going to dynamite out a bunch of this. I did some testing there on the side while, well, this was going on, and I was able to dynamite a chunk of land right there while it was submerged in water. So it seems you can dynamite stuff even while it's underwater, so we're going to dynamite a bunch of the land here so we can store more water in between droughts, because we just sort of, well, we've gone through all the water there and there's still 3 days left, and it's only going to get worse, so we need more storage space. The drought has ended, and this has not finished quite yet. That's a little bit disconcerting. I think the problem was these were inaccessible, and let me get rid of those. I made the silly mistake of not putting accessibility into them, so it's okay. They'll be finished shortly, hopefully before the water arrives. God, I hope so. Wait, come on, hurry up. And here comes the water. All right, perfect. That is still allowed to flow because of these bios. Yeah, they're set to keep the downstream depth above 0.7, though we still have not finished off on this section, but we will shortly. And I finally enabled that water barrel. Since we've got a water coming through, I would like to fill up this in the interim. 1200 water basically replaces both those water tanks. And we'll probably rip out this water tank and replace it with another extra large sized one in a bit. How are we looking? Oh, perfect, perfect. Everything's doing what it should be doing, except for that. Why are you half empty? Get on that. Okay. Something is going on. That's flooding. Why? Downstream depth would close above downstream depth. Okay, that's closed. That's going. I need you to shut off right now. Okay. Stop all that flooding. You're get out of there. Let all that water flow away. Okay, good. How long? Dies in 0. Okay. Oh, that was kind of close. That flooding almost wiped out our farms. Well, that's great and all. I'm going to have to fix this in a wee bit. How are we doing? Oh my god. Yeah, that's a lot of dynamite we've got queued up. We're trying to increase our storage space for the next section of the drought. We might wait till nighttime and blast them. Actually, no. We'll wait as long as we can before we blast them. We want to fill up as much of our water tank as possible. Okay, our next drought is just another 20 days. That's actually not that bad. All right, let me double check to make sure. I think we're ready for this. You're at 1.9, which is exactly where you need to be. So that means this is full. I think I'm going to have to change this to a 1.9 as well. Nope. We're going to get some automation in here. So first thing I've done is I've changed this to close above downstream depth of 0.5. Because this thing seems to hover. Even with full flow, we rarely get to 0.7. So I don't know what exactly those things are. I thought they were 0.75. But I think they might be a little bit shorter. You know what? Doesn't matter. We'll leave these at 0.5. That seems to be the default anyway. And these guys here are also going to be downstream depth of 0.5. And we'll replicate the ones later on as well. Just trying to queue up some dynamite. Oh my god, that's so much. What we're trying to do here is basically expand out this water tank so it's got more depth. The deeper it is, the less water you lose. Wait, no. The more surface area you have, the more water you lose. So the deeper you make it with the narrower top, the better. So excavating this out will mean the water around here will stay around longer. This big long stretch, say, back here where it's only one tile deep, that's going to evaporate rather quickly. But if we blast some holes here, some of that water will flow down and will last a little bit longer in the deeper sections, which is why we're trying to place down large swaths of dynamite. Now, there is some building we need to do over here, and that's going to require... Well, we've got these stairs, but we can remove a bunch of this. So I'm thinking... Yeah, you can go. There we go. We'll block that off. We can demolish these, put in our sluice gates, and then replace them. Oh, are you full? You are not quite full at all. You know what? You're going to make you not for water, deprioritize, and we are going to prioritize you for delivery. That should empty that water tank. Perfect. Then we can demolish this. And we can replace it with a supersized water tank in a bit. And now, over here, we'll do the same thing we did in the other place. Though I don't think we really need 4 sluices. I'm still going to use them just in case. It gives us some flexibility later on. I think we could just put in 1 sluice, and it would allow this to happen. But we're going to do it this way anyway. And give me a level 1 floodgate. I think a level 1 floodgate would do just fine. And we can make sure all of your heights are, say, 1.9. We can change that in a bit if needs be. And... oh, we'll up the priority. We have a whole bunch of builds going on at the moment, most of them explosives related, so make sure they get done in a timely fashion, and then we'll have completely automated restoring water to all these sections. And finished. Now time for the moment of truth. This is going to try and keep the water level at 1.5. The reason it's saying 0.5 is, well, there's a block after it. If we got rid of these blocks, it'd be saying 1.5. You can actually see that little blue line there. That seems to be where it's going to be try and target to keep the water, which is... yeah, 0.5 seems to be good. So in that case, we shall delete these. Turn on water visibility, of course. Now, what should happen is, in theory, this water will come along here, immediately start pouring into this section. And there it goes. It's going to start filling up this area to 0.5. But that's going to start draining this area, which is going to reduce the water below 0.5. So it's 0.59 downstream. 0.58, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and boom. That opens up these ones, which start dropping water down from their little pool. And that is going to cause these to realize, hey, the water downstream is below 0.5, close above 0.5, so they're going to open up as well, which means that's drawing water from that section. And there, it's a whole automated system. And if it's... no! Why are you going... that should not be going above that. Why are you emptying? 0.4. 0.4? Okay. I could have sworn this is 0.75. It doesn't make a difference. So, that means it will keep this part here above 0.5, which it now is. It will keep this above 0.5, which it now is, though it actually went a little bit over. There seems to be some sort of kickback. And this 0.4, it's kept it above that. And this should automatically keep the whole place well hydrated without us having to do anything. At the same time, this should prevent any bad water from getting in. So now we've automated it, we don't have to look at it, and we can concentrate on doing major projects. in theory. But first, we got to account for droughts of, say, 30 days, which means let's just finish this row out, drill it down, then blow out the next layer, and the next layer after that. And then we'll have so much water, we'll never run out. Well, okay, depending on how big we make our population, of course. That will be the big limiting factor. I think we're ready for a little bit of water tank enlargement. Let's start in the middle, actually. That would probably make more sense. Nice. That gives us a little bit more space for water, and then we're just gonna want to go down a level and repeat the procedure until until we hit this level, the same level as the sluice gates. At that point, we will have maximized water storage. I think we're going to basically blast everything here as well. This is going to be quite a chunky sized water tank. I want to make sure we definitely cannot die to an extended drought. And we'll have to keep an eye on this as our population expands. We'll probably double our population, double our crops, all that stuff, and then hopefully we should still have enough water to make it through. Okay, this is another bit of a decent expansion to our water tank. This is turning out to be quite a pleasant experience. Perfect. And then we just expand that on further. Once we take out this bottom layer here, I think that will be good enough for now. And we might even extend the water tank. Actually, no, there's no point extending the water tank back a bit. Once you start getting back here, it's just so low that the extra evaporation you're getting for that much extra surface area, I don't know if it's worth it. But I think coring this area out and maybe widening it a bit might be more efficient. Ooh, look at that. Water level has dropped seriously. This is why we've been expanding the water tank so aggressively. I've also been doing a little bit of cleaning out of the odd section over here. Just, a little bit of tweaking. Make sure everything's nice and neat. With the drought ended, I think we're good. Yeah, downstream's kind of wobbles a bit. It's not very accurate. But it's topped up everything all the way along. Yeah, you're good. We're all topped up. And until it backs up and fills up our reservoir, it won't overflow the top. But that needs to get to about, 3.9 tiles of height. Then it'll overflow the top. Which means over here, actually. We're going to put you up a bit. Where are you at? Yeah, you're at 0.9. Yeah, perfect. So, system seems to be functioning as intended. Over here, I might blast all of this land out. Actually, no. This is just evaporating land for no reason, or evaporating water. We don't need this. Might be an idea to just wall it in. For now, we're good, but might be... Actually, we might landfill it. We're going to expand over here and start harvesting, or start farming this area, so I'm thinking blasting out a bunch of this might not be a bad idea. But first of all, yeah, there's some blasting that needs finishing. And we get to test our bad tide. Excellent. Now, I was going to wait until that was all done and then blast it, but I think I'll detonate it now. Just so we have a little bit more water storage. Oof, that was pretty. All right. We just have to make a stairs to get back up here, and we can finish that off, but there's no rush. We've also drained all of our explosive storage. That's another reason I was sort of like, there's no point anymore. And we can get you just like that. Perfect. So, that we can finish off in the background. For now, I think we have more than enough water to survive any upcoming droughts that we might have. Let's just see what the bad tide does. Oh, here comes the mess. Turn water back on. Yeah, now this should automatically get shunted away. We shouldn't have to do anything. It should just do its thing without us having to worry about it. Oh, you can all go. We might want to sever access to this area as well. We're going to leave it open for now, but I would prefer them not to go bathing in the dark tide that is about to come pouring by here. In the meantime, everyone's still... Yeah, still batting dynamite. 11.5 days of dark tide, or bad tide. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. What the... This thing's already opened. Contamination 2%. What about you? Have you closed? Contamination 1%. And that's shut off. Okay. So that means that contamination hits a lot earlier than I thought. Oh. It's not going to backfill that area, is it? No, it wouldn't do that. Would it? That's fine. Ooh, if that pushes back up that direction, that could be very uncomfortable. No, no, it's good. It's good. That was... Yeah, we're not going to worry about it. We're not going to worry about it. If this becomes a long-term problem... Well, actually, no, if it becomes a long-term problem, we're probably boned. If that gets into this area neighborhood, we're going to lose a bunch of stuff. But it seems to have protected our water tank. Water storage is solid. Yeah, all the contaminated water has been shunted aside. I think we're going to call that a win. Objectives achieved. Automated bad water disposal. Automated hydration of all of our crop areas, beavers, everything. We still have to expand it a little bit more to be ultra safe, but I'm thinking that's good. What we really want to do is do some, well, mass destruction over here. Something along the lines of, say, rerouting that water directly from there to over here, so that we can free up all that other space, and then level it. We want to demolish everything down to a lower level so that we can get some really good farming on. But first, we just need more population. Lots and lots of it. We want to level whole areas around here, bring them down to the same level as our water, and then use that area for farmland, for forestry. We're also going to have to get into crops. We have... I might drop the level of this one layer. Like right now we've got this up 2 layers, but if I drop that 1 layer, we can get rid of all of these side things, and then what we can do is start using this entire area in here for farmland. There's aquatic farmland we can do. That will allow us to support more population. We also have 15,000 research, so we can pretty much grab whatever we want from the research tab. Then we'll probably want to about double our population. Going any further than that, we might want to enlarge our water. We'd have to enlarge our water tank quite substantially. We'll double our population, then triple explosive production, increase our water tank, increase our population by another 50% on top of what we'd already got, and at that point we'll have triple the population we started with, and we should be able to actually do some real good construction at that point. Oh, yeah, minus those ruins. We're also going to have to expand all of these windmills. We'll upgrade to the newer ones. So these ones here, the large windmills, we're going to have to upgrade to that, which will require paper and all that stuff. That's going to require more beavers, but yeah, we can do all of that stuff. So basically, next up, mass expansion would be the order of the day. Anyway, I'm going to cut this out here. I hope you enjoyed it. Good luck.